Earlier this week on It's the Economy, we found that consumer goods sales in April and May was weak. Now here's a second piece of slightly negative news, that hiring trends in April and May weakened from year ago and quarter ago levels. Naukri job index in April-May put together is 5% below the Jan-March average level, while an index put out by Foundit, a subsidiary of Quess, has fallen 7% in May from year-ago levels. Team leads in their Jan-March survey of hiring intent of companies found a 4% fall in the number of companies with hiring intent. Now, is this a minor blip? And which sectors are pulling down? Which are pulling up? We have the owners or the authors of the indexes, Pawan Goyal from InfoEdge, Ramani Dathi from Team Lead Services, and Sekhar Garisa from Foundit, the subsidiary of Quess. Gentlemen, and Ramani, thank you very much for joining. Pawan, you go first, since yours is a very widespread index. How seriously should we take this April-May average fall compared to the quarter ago?
I think if you just take April-May, there's a decline. But if you take a 3-month window, March, April, May, which is a more stable metric, you see it's roughly flat year on year. Okay. Now, what we typically see is hiring intent picks up year on July onwards. And this period remains relatively flat. So at this time, it's not very concerning. Only June and July will inform whether the traditional pickup happens or not. Now, just this period is not concerning to me when I look at it from a long-term point of view. Oh, that's good to hear. We at least look forward with hope to July. Ramani, what about you? Your survey was done in Jan, Feb, March with respect to hiring intent. The intention is 4% lower than what it was a year ago. How is it actually panning out? Do you have any data for April, May to check out whether people lived up to their intention?
Yes, Lata. So there are two specific sectors which are pulling down these numbers. This 4% drop that we are talking about are largely driven by the IT hirings as well as hirings in startups, be it edtechs, fintechs. So there has been a complete freeze on new hirings. So these two sectors having a sharp drop has overall impacted the hiring trends. But if I take up any other industry, all the matured businesses and large corporations, the hiring trends are very encouraging, be it BFSI or telecom, FMCG, FMCD, pharma. So we have been seeing very good hiring trends consistently over the last 2 quarters. Okay.
So with that, let me come to you, Sekhar. Your trend actually shows that even BFSI is not hiring so much. You're only looking at shipping, advertising and sectors like that doing well. How much would you worry about the 7% fall that you are talking about?
I think it's been worrying to some extent, but it's not really such a bad news that we should start ringing in the alarm bells. We fully expect, and this is based on our conversations with our customers, that they're all looking at revisiting their hiring plans in Q2, and we are expecting that some of the hiring activity should come back. Just a clarification on BFSI, banking is actually looking positive. It's the insurance that's pulling down since we report BFSI as one index. That said, I think 4% drop month on month is the third consecutive month that we see month on month drop, albeit in like small numbers. However, this quarter traditionally has been a slow quarter in terms of hiring. Next quarter is when it usually picks up. So we'd like to see data from the next quarter before we say either it's back or we need to worry more.
Okay. Well, seasonally adjusted, if you look at it year on year, May over May is also a 7% fall, which is why it is worrying. You know, you can't only put it to seasonal from what it looks like. But Pawan, if you can give us more color, do you all have any indication of salaries? Are those also trending down or up? Is there any signals you can pick up from that?
So we recently did a job seeker poll. We do that on a routine basis. We did that last year as well as this year. There is a significant correction in the salary increases. So last year, 52% people reported that they got more than 20% increase in salary. That number is down to 19% this year. So that's a significant change in salary. And that's a reflection of the overall hiring environment that is reflected as well.
Oh, okay. That is a little worrisome to our viewers as well, and to yours truly. Well, Ramani, what about a distinction between the level of jobs? Is it that senior level positions are still being sought? Are blue collar suffering more, or is it the other way around, that there is good hiring at blue and white collar but lesser at higher level?
The entry-level jobs, the hiring trends are very good, Lata. Be it sales, profiles, marketing, office services, even to some extent blue collar. So there, the hiring trends are very positive. However, at senior and mid-level, it's only the attrition, the backfilling that is happening. The new positions, we haven't been seeing any large number of hirings happen, be it in IT or non-IT, in mid and senior level. Also, it's more hirings are happening in large cities, while we have expected some hirings to happen in smaller cities during COVID times with work from home options and other things. But now that trend is not panning out. More hirings are still happening only in the large cities and across large corporations, not with the smaller companies.
Oh, okay. Sekhar, how would you want to add to this? Are you, in terms of levels and seniority, does your survey cover that? Or in terms of geographical spread, anything that you can add to our understanding?
Yeah, it does. And in fact, I have slightly contrary data to what Ramani's put out. Especially in the IT space, etc., we see that the fresher hiring has been quite impacted. You also heard of a lot of large organizations which have deferred joining. So we see that there is a lot of pain in the entry-level hiring, because you can logically deduct that these resources need a lot more investment before they're productive. So the companies are looking for resources that can directly be put to work, and therefore in times like this, you will see entry-level hiring being a bit impacted. In terms of locations, again, places which are highly indexed on IT are showing a decline, because that's a sector that's been pulling the index down.
Yeah.
So you would see the usual suspects like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune going down. Some green shoots in tier 2 cities, Ahmedabad, Baroda, we see Coimbatore, the numbers going up. But places which are indexed on IT are going up. Places which are not indexed on IT but indexed on other sectors like banking, retail, etc., are places which are less impacted.
Okay. Pawan, I think your Naukri job index is almost mirroring what Sekhar is saying, that
Yes,
the tier 2 cities seem to be doing very well.
Yes, tier 2 cities are doing well. I think there's Ahmedabad, Cochin, Baroda, Jaipur. These are all cities which are doing well. Also, contrary to what Ramani said, we are also seeing growth in 8 years plus experience segment across the board. Okay, whether it is IT or non-IT.
Entry struggling.
Yeah.
Entry is struggling, is it?
Yes, entry is struggling. Fresher hiring is challenging, and that's likely to be a not so good news for campus hiring in the coming season.
Oh, no, that's a little worrisome. Pawan, your index, I think, goes back many years. So, if you look at the Naukri job index, the current levels of 2,800, how worrisome is a 5% fall at all? Are we very far away from really good hiring times, or are we about average?
So, Lata, historical comparison wise, I think we are about average. I think this April to month 5% growth is a good indicator. But if I just take this period from a pre-COVID standpoint, we are about 19% up from 2019. So the overall white-collar hiring in the 4-year period is up by 19% per our index. Okay. And even though IT is temporarily down, it's going through that correction. If you take a long-term view, that is also up about 10% from pre-COVID. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think overall trend line is secularly upward. Of course, there is correction in IT and education at this time.
Okay. No, that's very good to hear, that compared to pre-COVID levels, even the IT index is actually higher, net. Sekhar, what is your sense about the second-tier cities doing well and IT not doing well? Should we take home the fact that, GCCs are getting set up in many of these centers, that is, outsourcing of services, audit and tax and such like middle office coming to India. Is that what we should read into the middle level cities doing well, tier 2?
Absolutely. I think some of the location choices that GCCs are making are definitely influencing these numbers. Also, the fact that companies feel that if you get people to be located in tier 2 cities, the overall cost of employees will go down. There's adequate infrastructure and IT infrastructure available in these cities. The cost of living is lower. People have moved back into these cities wherever at least the quality of life is comparable to metros. Those cities we are seeing a lot of growth. So from that perspective, GCCs are a bright spot even amongst this slightly gloomy news, and they are making their choices which are impacting some of the numbers that we are putting out. The natural advantages that are coming in terms of some of these tier 2 cities with very good infrastructure, that is playing out now.
That's very good to hear. If I can get quick winding up comments, I'm completely out of time. I'm borrowing time from another show. Ramani, there are two worries, El Nino and probably a global slowdown because of central bankers raising rates. So how does the quarter ahead look to you?
So Lata, for us, clearly the IT segment is a complete slowdown, whereas the non-IT, in fact, the earlier comment that I made is largely from non-IT perspective. The entry-level jobs, more hirings happening are mainly in the sales profiles, clients like BFSI, telecom, those kind of profiles.
So net without IT, you are positive?
Yes. Without IT, we are very positive in terms of overall growth.
Pawan, what would your thoughts be? Two clouds really, possible global slowdown and El Nino.
Yeah. So El Nino effect is harder to predict, but global slowdowns usually have worked out very well for India. There is a temporary hiccup, but after that we have come. Usually, Indian market has come back roaring. You look at the 2001 time frame, 2008 time frame. So all those time frames it's worked out very well for India. So it's hard to predict the exact timing, but I'm very optimistic that it will turn out to be very well. The other good thing for Indian economy is now, while it was primarily driven by IT until very recently, non-IT is actually become a growth engine. So, and while as IT recovers, we should be in a good position.
Yeah, Sekhar actually covered that when he spoke about GCC. Sekhar, you get 10 seconds.
Yeah, I completely echo what Pawan said. The non-IT is a bright spot, and I think that will continue to be. Typically, global slowdown tends to come back into positive territory for us, even from an IT perspective. I think companies are, at this point in time, a little conservative, but they will come back in a quarter or so. I'm
sorry, gentlemen, I've rushed you all, but thank you very much for giving us more color on the hiring trends. April and May are looking a little downbeat, but the downbeat is more in IT, and the expectation is that things are going to bounce back. Wrap up on Bazaar. Chartbusters up.